Welcome back. Been a while, I know, but we're here with a Freyna build. Now, this isn't going to be, like, unheard of, something crazy. It's a non-ultimate Freyna build that has a ton of investment, and she's just able to clear all content, so I want to show that without ultimate Freyna, you can still do everything. Before we have a look at this, just know I have an energy activator and 12 crystallization catalysts in my Freyna. This is not a low investment build, this is high investment. You do not just do this without investment, okay? If you want to have a look at all of my crystallization catalyst slots, here they are. Here's everything I can implement onto my build, and we can do bosses with ease. The only thing is, I don't have good aim on PC, so I've left Swamp Walker out, but usually it's ultimate, you get him down, he goes immune, you break him, you ultimate, you win. So it's not a one phase. I can't one phase him. I just don't have the aim one phase things, to be honest. If you do have better aim than me, you'll get better results, but my aim sucks. My computer finds this game hard to run, pretty goddamn hard to run. Just before we get into the Freyna build, I would like to just give a quick update on how I'm going. I didn't play the game for about a month and a half. Ever since my video stopped, I didn't play the game until about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. We've actually got quite a lot done. Now, beforehand, I didn't have the majority of characters, I didn't have many ultimate parts, I didn't have any energy activators. I only ever had one energy activator crafted. Now I have tons. I was planning on buying the ultimates. I haven't really got around to it yet, and as you can see, like, I need one part for Valby that I already have. I already have all of the Ajax parts, just need to craft them. I only need one more part for Ultimate Freyna. Ultimate Bunny, I only need the code, but I've got pretty much everything from the majority of them apart from one item. So I need one for Bunny, one for Glay. I don't think I have much for Viessa. No, I need a lot for Viessa, but who cares about Viessa, right? In terms of my energy activators going on, we have got, let's see, 5 made and 5 more to be made, and that's without me buying a single one. I've only bought a skin, and that was for Freyna. But let's have a look at the Freyna build to see what exactly we're doing. Now, when it comes to making builds, I pretty much learned most of what I know now from that dude Vash Kawai. I'll put his channel up here on screen. Honestly, go check him out. He is probably the best person to learn from. Now, I do also watch a couple builds from like Denny's and like Moxes and people like that there, so go check them out. I haven't been in the game quite so long. Now, I did try to learn what I was doing. I haven't just tried to copy builds, but here are the 2 builds that I use. Setting 1, this is going to be for your 400% dungeons, right? This makes them honestly pretty easy. The only thing this struggles with a bit more is bossing, and that's not too much of an issue in the 400% dungeons, obviously, until it comes to the very end when you have to kill 2 bosses. But it's honestly fantastic for 400% dungeons. I can pretty much solo any 400% dungeon that I want. When you do have a look at what's in the build, we have Contagion. That's going to make us a lot better at mobbing. It's almost a necessity in my eyes for 400% dungeons with base Freyna. I use mid-air maneuvering. Use whatever one you like. I like it. We go maximum range. We want more skill range. We don't really care too much about skill power now. In the later level 400% dungeons, so you're talking like White Knight Gulch dungeons, the Fortress dungeons, the enemies can be a little bit tough, but they do die, especially in the 400% dungeons. I honestly tend to find the 250% dungeons are a little bit harder than a 400% dungeon, and that's just due to the lack of enemies and the lack of poison spreads. Because there's so many enemies, you use MP Collector. So you constantly refill your MP. You never really run out of MP unless you're on the boss and there's no enemies to kill, which rarely ever happens because they constantly spawn enemies. We've got Focus on Tech for Tech Skill Power Modifier. So Vash Kawai he has a good video to explain what is the difference between, you know, skill power modifiers and power modifiers and just every different type of buff that you can actually apply to your skills. So I go and watch that. It will help you make your own builds. It's such a good video. It goes over everything. He has the numbers for it all. I don't have the numbers for none of that. Next, we have Decimator. When defeating an enemy inflicted with debuffs, skill power modifier plus 5% per enemy defeated for up to 10 seconds, right? That's 10 stacks. You're pretty much rocking a 50% boost at all times in a 400% dungeon because 10 enemies, not an issue. Inflicted with debuffs, not an issue, right? It's very, very easy to do. So get that on there. Free 50%, right? Expansion. Oh, shit. Right. Skill expansion, more range. We like range. We get HP, just survivability. Venom Sanctium, right? That's just going to give us more toxin power. Same way, 77% is a massive buff, right? So you want that 77%. That's where a lot of your skill power comes from. But this 10% is quite good when you added them with these two. So think of Venom Sanctium and Focus on Toxic, sort of two mods that work super well together, because the more toxin damage you're stacking, the more damage you do, the more you're going to get your Decimator debuff, and the better you're going to perform. Skill extension, just for duration. You know, you want it to last as long as possible. An MP conversion for skill cooldown, because I don't really want to be waiting on my skills constantly. I like being able to throw an ability, kill a bunch of enemies, and just throwing everyone right away, It does help a lot. This is what comes down for the 400%. Now, for bossing, I don't have a skill module. Not really anyone that I need. You're using Focus on Toxic for skill power. You're using Tech Amplification for skill power. Toxic Amplification for skill power. Focus on Tech for skill power, right? For your biggest skill power mods. Now, Spear and Shield, everyone uses it. We know why it's so good. You like defense. You like skill power. It's not much skill power, but it's 89% defense. Great mod. Always worth putting on there. Dangerous Ambush, when landing an attack when the enemy's not targeting you, skill power plus 24.9%. On skill attack against immobilized enemies, skill power plus 49.8%, right? So obviously when you down a boss, that is fantastic. That's what the best thing this is for, is when you break a boss and they fall to the ground, or if you're just not being targeted. So a couple of mods that are in there just for quality of life. You have increased HP, you know, big HP on you. You're going to die less. You're going to have nimble fingers for skill cooldown, because I don't want it to be unusable. I don't want it to just have a ridiculous cooldown. Right now, the cooldown on that skill is 28.3 seconds, right? I can use that a lot of times during a boss fight. If you're doing it every 30 seconds, that's pretty good, right? Now, obviously, when you're killing bosses in like 10 seconds, it's not a factor, but this is made for everything, and that includes public fights. I use this for everything. I've cleared all the bosses. Up to Swamp Walker, you'll do yourself. You'll do it easily. There's no issues there at all. I wouldn't expect the Phase 1 Swamp Walker very often, so skill cooldown really helps when it comes to him. Skill extension just adds more skill duration on, so you have more time to shoot your bullets. Obviously, we have quite a lot of bullets in a mag. It doesn't quite tell us how many shots we have in a mag. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a lot, and it doesn't really have many issues. So that's our two builds. Have a look. Copy them if you want. When we look at our components, I just run Slayer. It does good for damage, right? There may be better options. I don't really know any better options as far as I'm aware. If there is, leave it in the comments. I'd love to know. I'm not claiming that this is the best build. This is my build. I use it to clear everything. It's pretty easy. I can solo all the bosses that you can solo fairly easy, and it's great. I try to label my external components from grades A to C. Usually anything I class as a C, I'm not going to use unless I don't have anything of that type, right? So I'm probably going to get rid of anything that's a C. I only really look at A, B, and Perfect. Now, these are all B, and I'll go over why that is. Obviously, we're using a Slayer set. We like max HP. Kuiper drop rate, not great. If that was a gold max HP, I would have put that in A for one perfect roll, right? And then two perfect rolls would have got me a perfect external component. But I'm happy enough with max HP. We've got more max MP. Quite important. We get max shield as well. We got our Slayer memory with max shield, defense, and shield recovery in combat. Now this one, I honestly think could be put as an A tier external component. This one's very good. The only thing that's holding it back for me is that the defense is kind of lacking, right? I have another one here, and I'm not too sure which one would be better for me. So I have one that has better defense, but less shield recovery. I don't know if it's worth dropping that off, because you're losing 0.4 shield recovery for 300 defense. It's not really that much defense, considering, you know, we only have 8,500, so we're not a really tanky person. But it does, considering we do have a good amount of shields at 1,200, and we have a good amount of health at 6,900. It works out, you don't really die very often. We've got max shield here. Again, we've just kind of stacked up our survivability and our MP with our external components. And then the Slayer set is what gives us a better skill cost and skill power. That's why you want to get the Slayer set. If you don't know how to get the Slayer set, kill the Executioner boss. I said it was the hard Executioner boss. You actually have to kill the hard Pyromancer boss to get the Slayer set, so it's not very hard. If you already have the build done, you can kill the hard Pyromancer pretty easy. So just keep farming that until you get a good set. This is the exact same loader I use for both of my things. Now my relic, this is my boss in relic. It has tech skill power boost. It has additional skill attack when attacking Colossus. I rolled it as Secret Garden because I wanted the Secret Garden, but then I haven't quite got around to it, so I implanted Nezeistra's Devotion. The main thing, obviously, everyone would already know, you need your skill power 160. That doesn't mean you get an extra 160 skill power. That said, it's you use 160% of your 11,000 skill power, you know? And everything added on, you're using 160%, not you're getting an extra 160%. We have tech, toxic, obviously it's Freyna, everyone knows you like a tech toxic reactor. We have toxic skill power boost ratio down there. I would have took a tech skill power boost ratio down there, but toxin is preferred because all of her abilities are toxin. And we have that reactor enhanced. Now the other one that I have, this is the one that I'm going to be using for my farming. So this one will go on my farming build as soon as I get it done. Right now I don't have it, so just know if you don't have a reactor like this, you don't need it. I'm yet to actually use it. It's just sitting there waiting. Now this one has toxic tech, skill effect range, and tech skill power boost. Now they're both gold, so it's much better. Obviously tech skill power boost, that works out because most of her abilities are tech. We have skill effect range, that really helps the range on her farming build, but it has Sigvor's proof mounting. I don't really use it. I wouldn't use it, especially not for a Freyna. So I need to implant the reactor over the top of that. Just haven't yet. I'll do that soon. For now, I'm still happy enough using this. Lastly, the most important thing for Freyna's ultimate that you cannot forget is your weapon. I use the Nezeistra Devotion, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. As you can see, we have multiple crystallization catalysts in this weapon. So when I do decide to add a capacity activator, an energy activator, or more formas, this is what we have to work with. We have 4 sockets. I'm pretty sure it came with either 1 or 2. Something's telling me 1, and I have catalysted 3 times, but just know I've catalysed a lot of stuff. One of the most important things when you're using Freyna, it's going to be your weapon of choice, right? I have a reactor, Nezeistra's Devotion. I'm using the Nezeistra's Devotion. You have sharp precision shot. The most important thing there, the reason this is so important is you're using an LMG, your fire rate increase, that helps a lot. And when you use it yourself, you'll realize that from when I start shooting to when I stop shooting, I shoot a hell of a lot quicker. And if you use anything like the Enduring Legacy, you will know what I'm talking about. It does speed up a lot. Now we have more fire rate on there. We have a firearm attack for action reaction. That's more just for my own personal use. So I'm not just feeling super weak when I'm using the gun. Now it doesn't feel strong. Because we also have compulsive magazine for magazine size and expand weapon charge. Both of these directly impact the magazine size of the LMG ultimate. For Freyna, you need them. It like doubles your attacks. You're able to double how many bullets you have in a mag. That's crazy, right? You can just, but you have to have these mods. And well, that's gonna be all for the video. Really simple. As I said, it's not too in depth of what everything does. I haven't been playing the game a lot. I'm sort of just getting back into things. Go check out the people I mentioned earlier, please. Especially, you have to check out Vash Kawaii. You have to. He is so good, so good. You can't not check him out. Not to throw hate on people like Moxus or Denny's, he's just the best. In my opinion, he is so goddamn good and he teaches so well. You're able to learn so much from him. His knowledge for this game would rival my knowledge for Warframe, and I've been playing Warframe for almost 10 goddamn years. And that's because he goes into the numbers in a way that isn't even possible for the normal person. He puts in the dedication. Please go check him out. But look, if you did enjoy the video, I know it's nothing special, it's only a base Freyna. I get that. If you enjoyed the video, if you end up using the build, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you think it's been earned, that's fine. If you haven't, I'll get you next time, don't worry. But that's all for today's video, so I'm gonna have to love yous and leave yous. But we have returned, and I will be seeing you. Bye.